When you are protecting someone's freedoms and civil rights, you're taking one of the most precious things and putting a shield of protection over that. You're protecting this person from the onslaught of the awesome power of the government. And the only thing that is holding back that giant is a piece of paper written over 240 years ago. I have a passion for the law. I believe in the Constitution. I believe that every person is entitled to a good legal defense. And these are things that my grandfather and my father taught me. Our motto, liberty or death, has a very specific meaning to my family. My father was a combat veteran in Vietnam. My grandfather served all 4 years in Indochina. We're in it, we're gonna fight it to win it. It's just that attitude, that spirit. And what gets you going is when you go in and you got the high ground, you know that you're right, but you're outnumbered. Kind of like you saw at the Alamo. You know, we might be outnumbered. They might have more guys, but you know, at the end of the day, we may win, we may lose, but they're never gonna forget how tough we were. And that's the attitude we're gonna take into your case. A lot of people come to me and say, Richard, you know, what's the attitude of a client when they walk in the door? You're gonna have some people that are gonna be scared out of their mind. You're gonna get other people that are mad. It's explaining the process, letting them know what they're facing, letting them know that there's a way out, that I'm here for you. And we're gonna fight our way out of this back to back.
One night I was leaving work and decided to join up with some friends for some drinks afterwards and hang out for a little bit. I was confident to take myself home. In the parking lot I was approached by an officer who obviously didn't see the same way I did. Probably one of the worst experiences of my life. They make you really feel like a criminal, like nobody's on your side, nobody has your back. Luckily, I was able to find an attorney, Richard McConathy. I know there was people who had been sitting in there for several days trying to wait for an arraignment or to have somebody come bail them out, and I was out of there in hours. The case was dismissed. It got expunged completely from my record. My license was not suspended, and my life just went on. Richard made such an effort to prove my innocence, and I couldn't thank him enough for the hard work that he put in for my case. Sometimes to beat the system, you gotta know somebody that knows the system, and Richard McConathy definitely knows the system.
When you get Team McConathy, you're not gonna see a bunch of revolving faces. Just like an all-pro offensive line, you don't wanna have to be mixing out parts every other year. We know where everyone's gonna be, we know what they're gonna do, and it runs a precision team. I take on a case, I consider that person a part of my extended family. We're gonna throw everything out there, every bit of our heart, soul, and effort to win that case, just like we were being charged ourselves.
About a year ago, I was driving home from a work event and I got into a car accident. The other driver was injured and it was determined that my blood alcohol level was 0.15. My friend recommended Richard McConathy. Right away, he told me how serious the charges were. I was being charged with intoxication, assault, and I had no idea what that even meant, but it carried a penalty up to 10 years in prison. For me, 10 years would have been a death sentence. I would have lost my career, I would have lost my family, my reputation. For me, everything was on the line, but Richard's team was tenacious. They told me they were gonna fight this to the end in court. I felt like he cared about me and my best interests and treated me like I was family. They were able to get the blood test dismissed and my case was dismissed. I can't thank Richard and his team enough.
Every case, I've got the positive influence of the ghosts of the past on me who are telling me every day, keep the fire alive. That's important to me because we're passing the torch from one generation to the next and passing on that philosophy and that concept of we are the guys on the wall. We're the last line of defense for freedom.